Well, it's Saturday in October, and that means we've got another full day of college football. Good morning, it's Uncle Lou here. That's right, it is me, Uncle Lou, live on YouTube for you. Halftime of the noon games, most of them getting to halftime, and some of the other ones. Clemson is all over North Carolina, 35-3. Clemson literally scored on the first play of the game, and they haven't stopped scoring since, and North Carolina's not been able to do anything. 35-3 with a minute 52 to go in the third quarter. The Georgia-Kentucky game just went to halftime, 21-7. Georgia's winning, and that is a huge deal. Why? Not because Kentucky's any good. In fact, they're not any good. They're terrible. But that's a huge deal. Why? This is the first time. This is a crazy stat, y'all. This is the first time that Georgia has had a lead at halftime against a Power 4 team in its last 8 games against Power 4 teams. That's right. You have to go all the way back to Georgia's road game at Texas last year to find a Power 4 opponent that Georgia was beating at halftime. That's unbelievable. Everybody knows the storyline that's out there, how Georgia has been a second half team lately and has struggled early in games and hasn't played great in the first half. I don't know if you realized exactly how bad it was, but 8 straight Power 4 opponents, Georgia was either losing or tied at halftime. They were tied twice, losing 6 of the last 8, tied the other 2. They have not had a lead at halftime against a Power 4 opponent since last year on the road at Texas. That streak comes to an end. Georgia up 14 at home against Kentucky. Started the game off great, Georgia did. They scored touchdowns on their first 2 possessions, held Kentucky to a couple of punts. The offense bogged down in the second quarter. Not a lot worked for them in the second quarter. They did manage the 1 touchdown near the end of the second quarter. Kentucky got the ball back with a couple of minutes to go, and Georgia's defense let them down again. Kentucky, in a 2-minute situation at the end of the first half, drove all the way down the field to the 5-yard line and then missed a 20-yard field goal as time expired. So they didn't get any points out of it. They had scored a touchdown earlier. A weird drive by Kentucky, too. It wasn't one of these, 12-play drives where they just marched down the field. It was 2 big plays from Kentucky, put them down inside the 10, and they ended up scoring. So, never want to give up any points, but Kentucky did score earlier in the half, missed a field goal at the end of the half, and that's your halftime score, 21-7. Nate Frazier's not any good. I don't know why he's still getting playing time. Chauncey Bowens is clearly the best running back on this team. Josh McCray is clearly the second best running back on this team. Where's Dwight Phillips? He's on a milk carton after playing the first 3 games or so. Haven't seen him. Anyway, I've seen enough of Nate Frazier. Don't need to see any more. What else with the game here? Gunnar Stockton threw another interception. Gunnar Stockton's got to be a lot better. That's just the bottom line. The Tennessee version of Gunnar Stockton, that's the anomaly. That's not what a lot of people watched the Georgia-Tennessee game and were like, oh, wow, Gunnar Stockton's great. And he did. He played great in that game. I got nothing bad to say about the way he played in that game. But that's the only time he's played that way. He didn't look great against Marshall. He didn't look great against Austin Peay. He didn't look great against Bama. He hasn't looked great today. He's got an interception. He's got 2 or 3 other passes that should have been intercepted. He's got to play a lot better. And he's got to run the ball more. If he's not going to run the ball 8 or 9 times a game, then we need to see Ryan Puglisi. Ryan Puglisi can throw the ball better than Gunnar Stockton. That's not debatable. No, there's nobody alive that doesn't know that. He can't run like Gunnar, but Gunnar doesn't run. Gunnar's a running quarterback that doesn't run. I'm not talking about 1 or 2 scrambles per half when you drop back to pass and it breaks down. I'm talking, where's the designed runs? I don't understand the benefit of playing Gunnar Stockton over Ryan Puglisi if Gunner's not gonna run the ball. So I don't know. That's my issues. There you go with the Georgia deal today. This is a little bit of a surprise. Michigan's only up by 3 over Wisconsin at halftime, 10-7. It was tied for a long time. And then if you're looking for the weird noon game today, you should have listened to me, just like you should have listened to me last week. The Iowa State-Cincinnati game. Now, last week, Kansas State was playing Central Florida. Kansas State was terrible. They're 1-3 at the time. Central Florida was looking pretty good, 3-1. And then the line came out for that game, and Kansas State was favored by 5.5. And when you first look at it, you go, what? Why the hell is Kansas State a 5-point favorite over Central Florida? It's weird. Should be the other way around. Well, sometimes Vegas knows shit we don't know. Now, I don't know what they knew, but they knew something, because Kansas State went out and blew them out, covered the 5.5 and then some. Well, then the line comes out for Iowa State Cincinnati this week. Iowa State's 5-0, undefeated, ranked in the top 15, in the top 10 in some rankings. And Cincinnati's unranked. They're 3-1. They haven't looked great. They lost to Nebraska. And the line comes out, and Cincinnati's favored by 1. And I'm like, what? And then I started thinking, oh, here we go. Okay, this is last week's Kansas State game. Vegas must know something that I don't know. And I don't need to know what they know. They're telling me they know something by making Cincinnati the 1-point favorite. So I bet Cincinnati -1, even though I think Iowa State's a way better team. Guess what? It's 31-7 at halftime. Cincinnati's winning. They're not just beating Iowa State, they're blowing them out. Alarming. Alarming. What else? Not much. Not much for the noon games. I'm going to be honest with you. Not much else for the noon games today. Let me just scroll through and make sure I didn't leave nothing out. Illinois is beating Purdue. That's not a surprise. Pittsburgh 31, Boston College 0. Turns out Boston College could use Tommy Castellanos. Of course, Florida State losing later tonight. You already know. I'll be live tonight at 7:30 for the Florida State-Miami game. Florida State's going to get the soul beat out of them. Kansas State and Baylor. Baylor and Kansas State tied at 17. That's a little surprising. I thought Baylor would win that one, and they still might, but tied at halftime. Navy's up over Air Force by a touchdown. Virginia Tech 6-3 over Wake Forest. All right, getting ready to watch the second half of these noon games. The Patreon stream today is at 3:30. Shout out to all you, all the people on the Patreon page. So we'll be live on Patreon at 3:30 for Alabama and Vandy, and Texas versus Florida. I like Alabama. To handle Vandy. Texas-Florida game could get interesting, though. Could get interesting. Then back on YouTube tonight at 7:30 for the primetime games. Anyway, that's your halftime report. Have a great day.